This is the first A.G.C podcast. My name is what is my name?
Shamar.
Shamar, TikTok, aka TikTok Andre, aka Omar the Giant. We're gonna talk about our top 5 albums and 3 things that we want to be made into video games. So let me introduce you to some of our other guys in here. 2 more guys specifically. Christian, aka Bushido Black. Say what's up, Christian.
What's up?
And we got Marshall, aka Damien the Deer, aka the one with talent and voice acting.
This is my house. Hello. Recording in a different location. Yes. Every single episode. Let's make that a thing. No, that'd be terrible. Recording a sewer pipe.
So, what are we gonna do first? The albums or the games?
Well, I had my 5 selected. Usually I listen to a lot more like outlandish stuff or stuff that people ain't heard. Yeah. Like last year I had a whole bunch of like albums like I forget what the name of it was, but it was a washing machine. The entire album used like sampled a washing machine going through a load of clothes, and that was the entire thing. It was really experimental, but it sounded really nice. It was by Matmos. Was the name of the people that did it. I don't remember the name of the album right now. There was also, of course, like Danny Brown, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard released an album that year that was really good called
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the album. I'm blanking right now. Shit, but but yeah, they had a really good album. It was Octagon Infinity or something like that. But it was like 8 songs. And they all looped indefinitely, and it was really high octane and just really fast moving. It was a really good album.
Alright.
Yeah. This year I got like Atrocity Exhibition again. No. Best song of the year every year. Really dope.
That's really interesting. But like, I'm really interested in the washing machine sounds. Like, how do they actually like implement that?
Yeah, they did a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, they like distorted them and did all sorts of stuff with them. Mm-hmm. But like, for a lot of the time, you could really tell that it was a washing machine. And then some of the time, you had no idea what was going on because they used everything from like the way the metal like shuddered to the like sounds of stuff wiping around and like, of course, obviously like water sounds and stuff.
Yeah,
it was a whole bunch of like. It went everywhere from like calming and peaceful to like really hectic and chaotic, because like a couple different groups worked on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was pretty good.
I'm Google search something real quick because I'm trying to find out whether the Avalanche's album was this year or last year.
I only listened to one song. That was the music video with that kid dancing in that subway station.
Yo,
that was dope.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah.
Tyler, the Creator's new album, I think we all can agree was really good.
I didn't finish it.
You didn't finish Flower Boy?
Yeah, I just forgot about it, honestly. It was always there in my saved on Spotify. I was like, I don't feel like listening to this right now.
It's really good.
I heard a couple of songs on it. I was like, well, this is dope. I'll get to it later.
Oh my god.
I'm fuck Flower Boy. That was the album everybody all year was just like, Tyler's gay? Like he's been talking about it for years.
Right.
Yeah, like why y'all surprised now?
Yeah. Just because this is the album that like says it.
So I'm just gonna probably say mine in no particular order. Vince Staples' Big Fish Theory.
Oh, that was great.
Good.
That was
good.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that one.
The production in it was just so great to me. Like I know some people didn't really fuck with it because like it was kind of different from what he usually does, but like only song I probably don't care for was a Alyssa interlude with Amy Winehouse when she was talking, and then after that it became like a sample at the end. I forgot what song it was, but
that man got a deal with Sprite because of the lyric of one of those.
Yeah, like every time I see
it, bitch, you thirsty? Please grab a Sprite.
Like every time I see it, I be like, oh, that's Vince Staples, but nobody knows who that is. So
Humans dropped this year, the new Gorillaz album.
Oh my
It was a
gosh.
huge production. It had like 30 tracks on it or something.
It was great. I listened to the whole album.
There was a whole bunch of different like styles used. There was a lot of like reggae influence I heard, especially on the single they dropped.
Sound bars.
Yeah, Saturn's Bars. Some people were talking about how people didn't really play characters. Like Pop Cans was just Pop Cans on that. I don't think people realize they don't always have characters.
Right.
Like the Ghost guy was a character because he was actually a character in the thing, but Snoop Dogg played himself in Plastic Beach and all that stuff, and like I don't understand why people are griping about that now.
I don't know either. I think it's because they're so used to like the image of the Gorillaz, you know, having them be these outlandish characters, you know. So yeah, I guess people got, you know, thrown off by it. But yeah, I gotta say, you know, Humans part of my top 5, most definitely. I guess I should probably say mine anyway. Damn by Kendrick Lamar. That was a good one. What? No.
No, Christian, please.
Like, I love that album too. Damn, but like, there's probably 2 or 3 songs I was like, okay. Like, I mean, like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. I was like,
I think DNA was probably my favorite track.
Like, I got like I like the song, but I skip it now because I just hear it all the time. So like,
right. It's like, but I mean,
when you listen to it, you like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, All American Badass by Joey Badass. That was a pretty good album too.
I didn't actually listen to that one. Joji finally released a non-Filthy Frank album.
Right. I haven't really listened to Joji like that. I listened to Filthy Frank when I was like 15.
I still listen to Filthy Frank. It's still good. He's still pumping it out.
That's all like a
like for as jokey as it is, a lot of the time it's really actually really good.
Yeah, it's well made. It's just, it's joking, but it's well made.
Yeah.
I saw like a thumbnail for one of his recent music videos. I was like, oh, so he's a serious rapper now.
Yeah.
Not really. It's not really rap. It's like more just kind of trance almost.
Yeah, it's like indie music pretty much.
Yeah. It's the theme of the album is like abusive relationships and how both sides can be equally toxic and stuff. And he talks about how like just emotions that come from breaking up and how you know it's probably for the best, but you still want the good parts without the bad. Yeah. You don't really think about the bad stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so weird seeing him doing serious stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
See him as a goofy dude.
Because, like, he tried to, like, be himself on some videos back in the day, but he got so much hate, he just deleted them. And now you see him coming on, like, talk shows on YouTube and stuff, and he's just being George.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so I gotta say my third album is, what was it? Saturation 2 by Brockhampton. That was a pretty good one.
Pretty good. I listened to that first Brockhampton album all the way through the first time I ever listened to it because you introduced me to him.
Yeah.
And I always planned on listening to Saturation the same way, but I never had the real time to just sit down and listen to an album.
I gotta say, I think my favorite song of the whole album was Junkie because when they started off that Kevin Abstract, they have him like start off talking about, you know, pretty much how he was gay. Well, not really, but like they mention, like he mentions like gay stuff in there, and then he like kind of like addresses it near the end of his verse. Like he said, why do we always talk about being gay? And he says not enough rappers talk and be gay. And I think that was kind of I really liked that part because like it threw me off a bit at first because
the music video was fucking weird.
No, it threw me off a bit at first because I was like, wait, what's going on here? And then he confirms it, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what's going on. So I kind of like that he confirmed it.
Oh, you didn't know that he was gay?
No, I didn't know until I heard that song.
You don't have a gaydar at all, dude.
I don't.
He said that he said a long time ago.
I didn't know until I heard that song, and I was like, oh, yeah. But and at the end, near the end, I'm just gonna like skip around the song because I'm gonna talk about the most memorable parts. In the end, I remember when Matt Champion he did a verse on domestic violence. Next, so that kind of ties into what you were saying about how Joji was talking about, you know, abusive relationships. So he was pretty much talking about like how, you know, guys, you know, they get mad and they feel like entitled for women to like do stuff for them.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how guys like, you know, would haul off and like like beat like the women that was closest to him, and how he was angry at that, and how next time somebody did that, he was gonna retaliate pretty much. I thought that was pretty cool. That kind of hit me a little bit because I was like, dang, like I imagined somebody was like doing something like hitting my sister, like being abusive towards women in my life. I go crazy too. So that was really relatable to me. That was pretty much the reason why it was my favorite part of the song. I mean, my favorite song in the album, because that one verse.
I wish I had some albums I could talk about like that. Last year I had a couple like okay, so you guys know Hamilton, the musical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys that wrote a lot of the music, especially the rap parts of Hamilton, is part of a group called I forget what they're called, but they have an album called Splendor and Misery, which is a concept album about an escaped slave in space age. So he's commandeered this ship, and that's the entire song's about him and his experiences. And like, there's a whole bunch of shit that goes on in that album, and I love that album so much, and I want to talk about it, but that's last year.
Well, you can talk about it right now.
Yeah, let me finish off mine, then we can talk about last year. All right, I'm gonna just name off 4 and 5 and not really go into depth, so we could really go into last year's albums, because last year was a good year. It was a good year for music, but I say my 4th is Still Striving by A$AP Ferg, simply because I get to like play that when I'm playing Batman, Arkham Knight, and beat up criminals while having A$AP Ferg rapping in the background. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Video games are the perfect music video.
Right. And I say number 5 is probably Big Fish Theory, by Vince Staples.
I'm trying to remember the name of the fucking group. It starts off with this like very fast pace, like it's like a computer voice that returns throughout the entirety of the album to like kind of narrate. It's just rapidly talking about how the subject has escaped. He's running and he's just kind of narrating what the guy is doing as he's running along, which I think is a very good way of narratively explaining what's happening and also adding a character on top of the character that's like looking down. Because a lot of the album, while it is mainly about the slave guy that escaped, it's also about the computer voice like catching feelings for him, basically.
Right.
And like being the reason that he's allowed to stay on the ship without like security coming and getting him.
So this one her shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the computer voice is also done by like the same guy, but it's just like, in a different voice.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Alright.
Like, did Logic's new album come out this year?
Logic's new album? You talking about
Everybody?
Everybody? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Hold up this year.
But it had a lot of that album had a lot of stuff going on. Like, it would have interludes of like old like bluesy like singing, and near the end it had a track called Air 'Em Out that was just like a straight like fuck you rap, like just at 'em. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just real hard and aggressive. Yeah.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, that sounds like something I might check out.
I like storytelling and rap, honestly. So.
Oh man, speaking of storytelling, I'm gonna get back to your Logic. I didn't forget about that. I'm gonna get back to Logic, Logic's album. But I just want to go into this little anecdote about Outkast. Outkast are probably like the best have the best storytellers in the whole, in like rap history.
You right?
Outkast, Nas. I mean, I've been listening to Outkast.
What about Eminem?
Eminem's pretty good. He's pretty good too. I like Eminem. But coincidentally enough, my favorite Outkast song is The Art of Storytelling.
Yeah, you told me that a long time ago.
Oh my gosh. Like that was like that. I think that was just perfect because it had like the whole, like you can literally like imagine it. It guides you through the whole story so perfectly. Like it's almost like a movie.
Yeah. Like
the words like are so descriptive, and it's so like well made that it was like a movie. Kendrick Lamar's Shireen was like that too.
The song that does that for me is Slick Rick's Children's Story.
Oh yeah, I like that one too.
That's a good song.
Talking about where he used to rob, like where the two kids he used to rob people and the police like went after him.
Yeah, the one kid stops and the other kid like goes crazy. He just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it like it's a drug for him. And then eventually the police catch up to him and there's like a big chase scene in the end, and then it comes to a head.
Yeah,
basically
ain't gonna
juice.
spoil it.
Basically juice before it was juice.
Yeah.
this is. Have you ever heard of Joyner Lucas?
What you talking about his new song?
Nah, I'm not racist, but it was something called Keep It 100. It's basically like a story, like a whole bunch of different stories, but it's kind of like Pulp Fiction, like it's kind of colliding or whatever.
Right.
It's basically like telling a story of like these different people
from different viewpoints.
Yeah, getting like and all focusing on like a $100 bill. It goes from like a guy who doing a drug deal, get some pills, and
that's nice.
And it goes from like a stripper and her pimp, and like a dude from the church, and he steals like
money
from the church, and he's just like there's a music video out for it.
Wow.
That sounds cool.
That is
cool.
Cool.
And then like it was a really dope track. I've been listening to it for the past like 3 days or whatever, so it's pretty dope. I gotta listen to the whole mixtape though.
All right. And what's that called? Do you remember?
It's a phone number. The album's a phone number. Just look up Joyner Lucas.
Yeah, I remember.
You took that as a command. You almost started looking up yourself.
He been doing that the whole time.
I have been, because I've been trying to figure out which albums were like going on this year and which weren't.
Yeah, I've been slacking for it this year. Honestly, I was like, I either won't listen to it at all. And say I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna get there, or I just listen to half of it. But Jaden Smith's new album, the first few three or four tracks, I was like, it's pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was really surprised because I was like, I didn't care.
We were expecting Jaden Smith to suck.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he sucked. But I just haven't really cared for his music like that. I wouldn't say it's bad or it's good either. I'm like,
Jaden Smith goes by Bruce Wayne, doesn't he?
Yeah, probably. Batman.
Yeah, Batman's pretty good. Well, no. Never mind. Batman.
Everybody in the comments, Shamar's stupid.
He's dumb.
Well, nobody knows this anyway, so it doesn't matter at this point.
We're gonna get really big. They're gonna come back and look at these old videos. The first one's got like terrible audio. You can't hear anything that's going on.
I can't hear you. I can't hear shit.
Oh man, I can just imagine me getting roasted in the comment section right now, talking about Shamar's the type of nigga that listens to the Teletubbies theme song and say it's good.
Oh no, man, Rugrats had a pretty chill theme song.
Yeah, Rugrats was dope.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
One of my favorite albums from this year is something I don't think either of you would even want to listen to, but it's some of my favorite stuff. Is Atrocities from Beyond by the death metal band Analepsy.
Analepsy?
Yeah, Analepsy. They're like a slam death metal, and they work with Slam Worldwide. And it's a really good, another concept album. You're gonna notice a theme with me. I like to listen to a lot of albums that tell a story or have a theme. It's about like basically eldritch kind of like aliens coming in and taking over the world and just killing everybody and destroying everything. And it uses a whole lot of sound effects as part of the music and as part of the like mood and the atmosphere, and it works very well. And at times it like, because you know when you're listening to death metal and that kind of stuff, a lot of the time you have no idea what the fuck they're saying.
Right.
The way that he sings it comes off as like at times the alien commanding or like just yelling at things, that kind of thing. This uses a lot of that kind of thing. I really like it. I think death metal is at its best when it has a theme to go off of, when it has something going on.
Right, like how Power Glove had the theme of what? Is Power Glove death metal? No. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Because I was like, but just trying to go off what you were saying, like how Power Glove had the theme of like, you know, The Simpsons and
Saturday cartoons.
Yeah, and like pretty much
Sunday
cartoons.
mornings.
Yeah.
Well, I probably listen to it. I pretty much listen to any fucking thing, to be honest. So
yeah.
You probably will like this, but I forgot what band's called. It's an old band, but it's this song called Pictures or whatever. Like I couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying the whole time, but it sounded good.
Yeah. I remember that's what I was like the first time I heard an A$AP Rock song. He's going so fast. What's he saying?
They do sound like chicken noises or some shit. I was like, what are they talking about? But it sounds good.
It sounds so cool.
And so Logic's album. At first I was like, it's okay. And like the production's really nice. That's the thing. But he keep talking about the same shit.
Right. It's like I mixed, and you will like it now. And we're just like, we were always okay with this, Logic. Nobody was discriminating against you. None of your fans hated you for being mixed. And he was like,
no one knew. I'm glad Logic's like happy about this album or whatever, but it's alright. Like he could have just got like rid of a lot of songs.
Yeah, like the song he made about suicide, which was like pretty much the song that like blew up. I don't feel like when I listen to it. How do I describe it? I don't feel like an impact from it.
The music video is way better.
Yeah.
It's not as much impact as like You by Kendrick.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. It's like what I'm saying is I don't feel that Logic like really had that, put his soul into it. I feel that he made it for people who are going through like that thing, but he didn't make it like off of experience, so the impact of it kind of like declined a little bit.
Yeah,
he said like the whole.
It doesn't have that kind of like experience, like emotion in it.
Right.
Like the title is called Everybody, but he's only talking about black and white people.
Pretty much.
The album.
Yeah.
But that makes me think though, because there's also a song about suicide. Well, about staying alive by Amir Van. I don't listen to the Bee Gees. Oh, well, I guess so. But by Amir Van from Brockhampton, and it's called Sincerely Yours, and it's basically talking about how he grew up poor, and about how he's starting to become disconnected with his family, and how his family suffered from alcoholism, and just all these problems. And what hit me the most was the chorus, because he said at the times I didn't want to live, thank God I'm alive. That's what he said. That hit me a lot harder than Logic's songs, because when I was going through things, and when I do go through things, because everybody goes through things, I just listen to that song and it just makes me feel better. Like I don't think Logic's song, I don't think I could listen to Logic's song and have it make me
it's all about like
feel
phrasing.
better.
Basically, well, it's the same artist, because he be dropping albums left and right, because he just so consistent like that. As novelist, he put out 2 albums this year, like one at the beginning of the year called Dilla Instinct, where he's just basically like rapping. It's like a tribute to Jay Dilla. He's rapping over Jay Dilla beats. And the other one he dropped just like a month ago, a few weeks ago, was like what's it called? Kenjutsu Under the Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a tribute to his best friends that got killed, rapping over Nejubi's beats. A lot of his raps are like anime oriented, cartoon oriented.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of the only few dudes that can actually make anime and rap
Like
mixed together.
Without it being like cringe.
Yeah, like, and I think this is the most personal project he's ever made, because like he's talked about like deep shit before, but this album was really personal to him, cause like his best friend, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the favorite track on that tape is called All the Time. You probably heard it before, cause have you watched Samurai Champloo?
Yeah.
Well, Neji is a great Nejubi's instrumental. I forgot what it was originally called, but
Was it the outro with the guitar?
no. I'll let y'all listen to it.
Did we have the music stuff out the way?
Yo, man, in 1996 they released this album. But what was the next? The next topic is three subjects that we think should be turned into video games.
Yeah, like series or whatever.
That was a hard topic for me to think about, because I started thinking about it and I was like, Naruto would be great, but then I was like, wait a minute, they already have like 5 games for Naruto, and I was
You
like,
can make up your own.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
I was thinking about that. They were gonna release a Metal Gear Solid game that's like a dating game for all the Metal Gear Solid characters.
What?
And they never released it, and that's a game I would love to see, because that'd be hilarious.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and then Konami shut them down. And I was like, come on. Like, they had concept art and everything.
Yeah,
like, they had advertising for it ready.
Konami's like, no.
No.
Like,
Sit down.
But it can make a lot of money. No. But why? No.
But I wanna date Solid Snake, man.
No.
No.
No. Get out.
But yeah.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Here's some lunch money while you're at it.
Some lunch money.
One game that I thought would be really cool, me and my friend Percy, we were talking about it for a while, and that's everyone wants a new a new Nintendo game for Waluigi. They want a Waluigi game because Waluigi's never had his own thing. He's never been in like a mainline game. And I was thinking, you know how most of Wario's games, he's big, he's bombastic, he wears like bright purple and yellow, he's a big guy. Waluigi wears darker purple. Waluigi is like tall and skinny and kind of like, yeah. And like, you know, he could be in a stealth game.
That's not
He
bad.
could be going around like stealing stuff from people's houses or banks or something. Like it would be stealthy, you know, it'd be cool.
A stealth game with Waluigi. That's not bad.
That'd be sweet, right?
That's not bad. That's kind of like how the Mario and Rabbids crossover had like XCOM elements in it with like the turn-based thing.
I fully believe they could pull it off if they did it.
Maybe. I mean, it'll be like the next Luigi's Mansion.
Exactly. It'd be
That'd
great.
be dope. That would be dope, actually. Yeah. So
while Luigi goes into Luigi's Mansion to steal shit.
he has to steal stuff. And he has to like hide from the ghost and Luigi. That'd be dope. That'd be kind of scary though, a little bit, because like the apprehensive. Like, it's just, like, the whole suspense aspect of it. Like you don't know where the ghosts are coming from.
It can be like a thriller.
A thriller? I don't know. It might be a little bit too heavy for Nintendo, though.
I mean, maybe not Nintendo produced, but Nintendo has some, like, more adult games on the Switch now. They got, like, Doom. They got Bayonetta on the Wii U. Bayonetta 3 is coming out. That's going to be lit.
Yeah.
They got, like, Butcher. They got Slain.
So they can do it.
Yeah. Blood and guts and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we'll just have to see.
It'll get them more attention, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, my only thing is like the whole Mario, series.
They say the word ass in Mario vs. Rabbids. It's amazing.
What?
Oh. They call Peach the kick-ass princess.
The kick-ass princess. Well, that's not too bad. It could have been like a translation thing.
No, because it was the game was made by Ubisoft.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
And then Nintendo oversaw it. It was just like, you can do this or this or that. And they kind of trusted Ubisoft with it, which is cool.
That sounds pretty dope, actually.
They handled it really well. It's actually a pretty good game.
I really want a Boku no Hero.
Boku no Pico, the video game.
No.
That's actually on my list. Not that.
No, not Boku no Pico. Boku no Hero. My Hero Academy.
But they already making one already. They already have screenshots of it now. It looks. They said it's gonna be on Nintendo Switch probably and PlayStation 4.
I really want but here's my thing with My Hero Academy. I really, really want a game series where you have the option to have like the whole like quirk system. You know, Boku no Hero. You know, they have like quirks where you're born with like these special powers. Here's my thing. Kind of like that. But
Sky High.
Yeah, Sky High.
That's really what it is. Except it's less cheesy.
To be honest,
I really want. This is like a gameplay thing for me. I really want one for you to be able to create your own character, like have it like Dragon Ball Xenoverse. But the kick to this is that your power is going to be randomized.
Ooh.
Every time you start, it's going to be randomized. So like
that would be pretty dope.
I just restart the game every time until I got what I want.
Like invisibility.
Get out of here. But it's gonna be like a fighting game with specific powers.
Your power is rainbows. What am I, gay?
You got bubble powers.
Cause like a lot of the characters, like if you actually like look in the background characters of the first episode, they have a lot of white ass powers in the back. One of them have a long ass.
Yeah, long finger.
I was like
how would you even get in this school? Like, how would you even get in?
Yeah, girl, come here.
but with like the randomized quirk system, it'll be just like the anime. Like you were born with this quirk, and like because if people pick it, I feel that they will be able to abuse the system, and I don't really like that.
I mean, like I said, they'd be able to abuse it anyway. They can just restart over and over again until they get what they want.
True, that makes sense.
And you can go like story mode. You can do like the tournament or whatever and stuff like that. Probably have like a
fighting game.
Yeah, do like a battle royale probably. That'd be pretty dope. I like to see that.
And my thing is, I kind of had the same idea for Naruto, but I think My Hero Academy will be better for this.
Yeah.
So pretty much you start off like as a trainee, like in the anime and manga, and you go up to the internship like the anime and the manga, and then you like become a hero, and you do like these hero quests and whatnot. And
then
it's
you have a
basically
son, and no one talks about you anymore, and it's always your son.
right. But
Bastard.
no, it's and then it's pretty much like you trying to be the next All Might, like the #1 hero. Like it's like a rise to power sort of game. I feel that would be dope, especially with the randomized quirk system. That you could do that with legit with all the characters, like your whole class, because you could like have a whole class of just like randomized characters with random quirks. That would be dope.
Would be nice.
Would it be like online, or whatever? Like
Completely randomized stats, I think, would make it
like random, like online students or whatever.
No, like you'll have online, but it will be like you do certain quests with people online. It won't be like the whole it won't be like the whole world,
I know,
online.
but I'm talking about like your class, like your classmates. Would it be your like random online students just put together, or just like computer program or whatever?
Like computer generated.
NPC.
Like here's my thing. Like you have one like core, like you have a few NPCs set up with like the same lines of dialogue, but you'll have this like coding in there where like each game is set up, they'll be like randomized. So like their facial features, maybe even their gender, like all that's like randomized, but they'll still have the same voice lines and the same roles that are played in the story, so the story would make sense.
My second video game idea would probably be a Firefly game, but it's made by Telltale.
Mm-hmm. That's actually kind of dope.
Yeah, like they've been trying to do that for years.
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up on the internet, like try to see if anybody agreed, and then like this said like there was some little articles or whatever said that they would probably like to do that.
I can kind of see like the Telltale game happening, like you being like a captain, like in that universe, or like being a character.
That kind of just I was just really thinking of just playing as just the regular crew, like Malcolm and stuff like that.
Okay.
The other Telltale game I probably see the Room.
The Room Telltale game?
Kind of like it's not the
That
same.
would be beautiful.
What? Wait, we're not talking about like we're talking about like the making of The Room, right? Like the well, for those of you who don't know, The Room is a movie.
Tommy Wiseau directed and acted in it.
And produced
It is seen as one of the best, worst movies of all time.
Yeah, like it's so bad that it's good, and that people cannot stop watching it. And like it's such a disaster that it's amazing.
The new comedy Disaster Artist coming out is about the making of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was just actually thinking about like, well, Johnny's dead, so you can't really do like a continuation. Well, no, you can probably, because in the original script, Tommy wanted to be like Johnny be a vampire. So that could work if they brought him back to life.
It made him a vampire.
And then he'll come back for what's his name? His friend, Chris, whatever. I forgot his name. He betrayed me.
Mark?
Mark. He was like, you betrayed me. Someone will kill you.
He betrayed me, Mark.
He'll be haunting him the whole game.
I think my favorite part about Tommy Wiseau is when you're watching the movie, you think this guy is terrible at acting. He's not that's just how he is in real life. That's who he is.
But he's so confident about himself. That's what makes me respect him in a way.
Yes.
He's just so confident. He really reminds me
And
of
he got
Shamar.
him where he is now.
Yeah, he reminds me of Shamar.
He's terrible, can't do anything right, but he likes it.
Oh my god.
I think my last game probably is like Boondocks fighting game.
That would be pretty dope, because they already have like the fighting elements up. They have Riley, they have Grandpa, they
Bushido
have
Black.
Bushido Black.
Never mind, that's me.
That's you.
Bushido Brown.
They have a cameo in the game for thinking of it.
I think I would like the graphics kind of be like,
Hand drawn and everything.
Yeah, kind of the new Dragon Ball Z game.
Mm-hmm.
The Dragon Ball Z game looks great. It looks like an episode of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I would actually like to see that, but y'all got any more games?
Well, let's name drop the Dragon Ball Z game we're mentioning, so people would know what it is.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z. He's talking about like having a game similar to that style. All right, so that's it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,